Hello, in today's video, we're going to walk through state-aligned assessments on Edsite. Now, when we talk about state-aligned assessments, we want to make sure that your students are engaging with the technology and content that are aligned to those end-of-year state expectations. You can count on Edsite to provide the technology side of things. We've got the question types, the tools, and the navigation that are going to mirror that student experience when students take their state assessments. But the other piece of content, let's talk about how you can ensure that you have content that is aligned to end-of-year state expectations. Whether you are building your own content or you are selecting items from Edsite's item bank, we want to make sure that your questions and assessments are high quality and standards aligned. And if you're in a smarter balanced state, your students are taking the SBAC at the end of the year, we also want to make sure that those assessments are aligned to claims and targets. Now, Smarter Balanced and the different states have released a lot of information and documentation so you know what standards align to the various targets and claims, and also information about how many questions are going to be in the end-of-year assessments for each of the targets and claims. So in today's video, we will walk through best practices for using Edsite to assess students with claims and targets. We'll talk about tagging questions, finding questions, and reviewing reports. As I mentioned, Smarter Balanced in different states have put out a lot of great resources that teens can definitely use when thinking about which claims or targets they want to assess students on. If I know that I want to build some materials on Edsite about the reading claim, and I specifically want to work on word meanings, well, if I select in this tool, their Content Explorer, reading and word meanings, I can see down here related standards. And I know that I'm building a question that's going to be aligned with those literary texts. So I'm going to go ahead and take this RL standard down at the bottom and add that to my question on Edsite. So now I'm on my Edsite interface. I can see that I have built a question. I've made a question specifically about word meaning, and I want to add that tag. So what I do is at the top of my question editor, I see this tab that says tags. I can click on that, and I can choose ELA claims and targets if I first want to tag this to a word meaning. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is claim 1, target 3, word meanings. I'm going to add that one in there. I can also get even more granular and add in a particular standard. So as I mentioned, I want to assess RL 3.4. Determine the meaning of words and phrases as they are used in a text. So now I can see that this question has been tagged both to that claim and target level as well as the particular standard. If I want to find already existing materials on Edsite, I can explore the question bank or assignments library. If I want to search for a particular claim or target or standard, I can scroll down to my standards filter. I can add in a particular claim and target. So if I wanted to go with a wider net, I could select word meanings to bring in any standards that are tagged to word meanings. Or if I want to be more granular, I can tag at the standard level and have that roll up into my claims and targets. So if I go back in here again to RL 3.4, and I can just type into that box to filter, I don't have to scroll. I can tag that standard. I can also, add in word meanings if I'd like to. You'll notice on here the C.3, the 3 indicates the grade level. The next number indicates the claim, and then the following is that target number. So 3.1.3 would be third grade claim 1, target 3. I can select that as well. When I click done, it's going to show me all of the items in the bank tagged to either of those standards. So here I can see this question is tagged to RL 3.4, which is why it was brought in to my search. And if I want to build an assignment using anything that I find in here, I can checkbox those items and either build an assignment or save the questions to my questions for using later. And now we'll talk about reviewing data after students take an assignment or an assessment. This is a fake demo account, all fake student data, nothing real here. So let's talk about the summary report first, because that will be available to all users in the Edsite community, whether your school and district is using the premium platform or not. In the summary report, you are able to see data by aggregate or overall, question by question, or by standard. So you want to toggle this over to the standard view, and here you're going to see one column for both the claim or targets, we tagged it here to target 3 word meanings, as well as the individual standards. So you can hover over either of those to get the text of the standard or target, and then I can see student performance. This demo account, student performance wasn't very high, but I can view this data by student. I can also view this summarized by class. So I could see here my charms class and my averages on each of those targets or individual standards. And down here at the bottom of the page, I'm going to see a summarizing table where I can see the average of everyone who took that assignment if I gave this as a common assessment versus the average of just the group of students I'm looking at, the minimum, maximum, standard deviation. And if I hover over the code for the target or the standard, I'm also going to see what question numbers were tagged to that particular skill. If your team is using Edsite Schools, you also might want to look at the performance band report, which allows you to see performance based on performance bands for a particular claim or standard or target. So here I've got this set up by class, so I can see for C3.1.3, which is that word meanings target, I can see what percentage and number of students in my charms class are in this below basic proficiency versus the advanced, proficient, basic, and the class average. I can click on that to see a group of students, to create a group, to send them extra practice with that target or standard, and really continue the assessments for learning cycle. And if I just want to hone in just at the claim level and get rid of standards that were also tagged, I can use that drop down to just see the target performance. And if I want to view this by student, I can do so, and then I can say just show me students in this proficiency, and then I can get that list to export, copy, or create a group on Edsite. So that's the overview on how to use Edsite to assess students with claims and targets. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to our Edsite support team via email at support@edsite.com. Thanks so much.